Hello, I'm Elif and this is a recap for episode 45 of the series One Love, 24 hours after Turkey and before dubbed for TV. Nusama, unable to bear it, goes to her mother's room and tearfully asks her for forgiveness and understanding. She says that when she found out her father was interested in Olev, she talked to him, and he assured her that he would never have a relationship with Olev and she trusted his word. Nusama says, "We never thought it would come to this. We didn't want to upset you. But we couldn't help it. But your children are here for you now." Kıvılcım returns home upset and thinks about Omar's words. In response to Omar's confessions, she angrily tells him, "Do you know what I've been through? I kept thinking what mistake I made. What if you allowed us to go through this period together?" She wanted to leave, but Omar said, "I want another chance from you." However, Kıvılcım said goodnight and left. The next day, Kıvılcım tells Ertuğrul about the incident and talks to him about the pain she has endured during this time. Kıvılcım says that Omar has asked for another chance. Ertuğrul is surprised and asks, "Do you still love Omar?" Kıvılcım says, "Believe me, I don't know his answer. But being together with Omar and me is impossible." Pembe accompanies Nusama and goes to see Rüzgar, telling him that Doğa has decided to remove herself, her family, and her surroundings from her life, and she asks for Rüzgar's help. Rüzgar says that when men see women succeeding more than them, they feel threatened, and to separate Nusama from Omid, it is enough to give Omid the feeling that he is inferior to his wife. He says he will quickly promote Nusama in his channel. Kıvılcım sees Pembe at the channel building and asks to talk to her. She says their families are also very upset about this incident and do not approve of Olev's actions, but adds that Doğa is not to blame in this matter and is under pressure at home. Pembe says, she should be hurt. Her aunt entered my house through her. Olev is talking to clients in her office about organizing a wedding ceremony when Nilay enters and tells them that in her ceremony, Olev's father stole her husband, causing her family to fall apart. Olev's clients leave, and she follows them, while Nilay takes the opportunity to take a picture of the office where Olev conducts her meetings. She contacts all of Olev's clients and passionately recounts Olev's story to them, warning them not to jeopardize their lives. Pembe invites one of her acquaintances along with her daughter, who she knows likes Fatih, to her house and asks Fatih to come home earlier. Before Fatih arrives, she tells them she's divorced and hopes Omid will be blessed with a good girl like Kusar. When Fatih arrives, he immediately understands the situation and asks to talk to his mother. He tells Pembe he knows what her intention is and continues, "Doğa is upstairs. Are you aware of that?" Pembe replies, "What about Doğa? You're not marrying that girl." When Fatih enters the room, Doğa tells him she understands everything and knows what her mother is planning. She says she's patient but is overflowing with emotions and suggests Pembe come to her senses, or else she knows how to handle this situation. Mary goes to the salon with Çayman and dyes her hair. Çayman tells her at home, "Don't take it the wrong way, but you look very attractive without hijab. Like a different person." When Mary is alone, she thinks it would be nice if Metehan saw her like this, but then she feels guilty and reproaches herself. Doğa continues her conversation with Pembe about Kusar and Fatih's meeting until the dinner table. She tells her, "I judge all your behaviors based on your mental state. But what you're doing is disrespectful. I'm your granddaughter's mother and Fatih's wife. We're supposed to remarry." Pembe replies, "It seems like you're not aware. Fatih won't marry you. You're becoming like your aunt. That's your level." Fatih enters the room amidst their argument, and Pembe tells him, Doğa thinks you're going to marry her. With frustration, Doğa leaves the room, and Fatih follows her. As Doğa gathers her belongings, she tells Fatih she's going to Cemre's. Fatih stops her and says, "You're my wife, Doğa." The next morning, Fatih and Doğa wake up together after a long time. Doğa says her mind is in turmoil, and Fatih tells her, "For me, only you and our daughter matter. I made a promise to you. I love you very much, and others' opinions don't matter to me." Doğa says, "I won't stay here for a minute without an official marriage." Fatih replies, "It's possible. We just need to keep it secret from my mother for a while." The next day, when Olev sees all her business appointments being cancelled, she realizes there's a hole in the pot. She tells Abdullah about the issue that night, and Abdullah says he'll look into it. Pembe decides to go to dinner instead of Sonmez and work with Mustafa. As soon as she arrives, she says the decor and the name should be changed. Zulkar suggests the name Mrs. Pembe's kitchen, and Pembe really likes his suggestion. Mary sees Metehan's friend with another man at a cafe and takes a picture of them at Chiman's suggestion, then tells Metehan about it. Metehan becomes upset and thanks Mary. Fateh and Mustafa have been ignoring their father at the company for a while, and Abdullah doesn't approve or sign off on their actions in retaliation. Omar goes to see his brother to talk about it and says, "In life, nothing is worth upsetting our kids, brother. Your behavior has changed. Is it Olev's influence?" Abdullah says Olev never wants their relationship with their kids to break. Omar says, "Maybe that's how it seems to you." Ruzgar hosts a New Year's party on the channel, and apart from Abdullah, the Onal family is also invited. Ertuğrul and Kıvılcım, unaware of Omar's presence, enter hand in hand, stunning everyone. Omar can't take his eyes off them and is shocked. Despite Kıvılcım and her grandchildren's objections, Sönmez goes to Panbeh's table and asks to talk to her. She expresses regret and says her family is also upset about the situation. In response, Panbeh sarcastically taunts her about her daughter. Sönmez says, "I hope you understand that the situation is tough for both sides," and leaves in disappointment. Ertuğrul approaches Omar and tells him that he and Kıvılcım thought a woman was in Omar's life. He says, "I know you asked for a chance with her. I know when to step aside. I told Kıvılcım the same." Omar replies, "I got Kıvılcım's answer tonight by seeing you. Be happy." When Omid sees Omar in a bad mood, he approaches him to talk and suggests they go outside for some fresh air. Omar asks, "What do you do when you're feeling down?" Omid thinks for a moment and asks Omar to accompany him. A little later, Ruzgar takes the stage to congratulate the new year, and after a brief speech, he says, "Tonight, I have a special guest." He invites Panbeh onto the stage and says, "Every time I see Omid, his strong personality brings me back to life." Panbeh, excited, thanks everyone, and everyone looks on in amazement. Omid takes Omar to the bar where he used to sing and, with his insistence, takes the stage to perform. Omar thinks about Kıvılcım and their memories, and after some hesitation, he drinks Omid's beverages in an attempt to calm down. Olev sees Panbeh's conversation at the channel party and is shocked. She shows it to Abdullah, who gets angry and says, "What's this? She's lost her mind." That night, Omid brings Omar home drunk, and Nisama can't believe her uncle has been drinking. She helps him with astonishment as he's not himself. Doa and Fateh go to the ceremony and get married again. Nilay goes back to Olev's office and puts an envelope of money in front of her. She says her stepmother gives a monthly allowance to the bride in a series, and Panbeh has sent her allowance. Olev asks Nilay to leave immediately. Nilay says she'll come back and spills the decor table in Olev's office before leaving. Olev immediately calls Abdullah and tells him what happened. Abdullah assures her that such a thing will not happen again. At Fateh and Mustafa's company, Abdullah scolds them for their actions last night on behalf of their mother, and then tells Mustafa to gather his wife. Mustafa gets angry and says he won't let his wife be insulted. Doa goes to see Olev and says, "Your actions have ruined everyone's lives. I was so tormented in that house that I thought about leaving, but then I thought, why should I take my daughter away without punishing them?" She hands Olev her marriage certificate and says, "I came to be with you. I won't leave until your family becomes Onal." These are Panbeh's good days. Olev is stunned at Doa. That night, Doa goes home and tells Olev and Abdullah that she was with them and continues her mischievous smile to Panbeh. They get along so well. Daddy finally found true happiness. Panbeh attacks Doa and tells her to get her coffin out of her house right now. Doa says, "I'm Fateh's wife," and hands Panbeh her marriage certificate. Panbeh looks angrily at Fateh. Doa says, "Fateh said we should stand up to you, but I couldn't bring myself to be foolish again." She says seriously, "From today, everyone should know their limits. If someone is going to leave from here, it's you. Because this house belongs to the lady now. Of course, until Olev comes." Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.